Hello, welcome back to the Merengues Media. I'm just here to do a quick reaction to the game that just ended. Real Madrid versus Atletico Bilbao. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. This was a La Liga game. I think this was game number 32. Got about 6 games left. Um, just a recap throughout what's been going on since the week started, since we got knocked out of the Champions League. There's been a lot of report coming out there, like, Carlo Ancelotti is going to leave at the end of the season. Carlo Ancelotti is going to leave after the Copa del Rey. We're not too sure when he's going to leave, but either way, all we know is at some point, he's going to leave. There were some messages saying like, if we don't win this game against Atletico Bilbao, he's going to leave. At this point, guys, it doesn't really matter. I watched the Barcelona versus Celta game from the beginning to the end yesterday. Literally hate watching the shit out of that game, even though I still think like we shouldn't win anything this season. But the fan in me, I still want my team to do well, right? It's different to say stuff, and then like when you start watching your team and you still want them to do well, right? As much as this team is pissing me off, but like it's a love and hate relationship, man. So yeah, I was watching Barcelona Celta. Celta goes up 2 goals up 3-1 and minute 60, and you're thinking like, whoa, there's a chance here, there's something might happen here. But Barcelona, like, they just stepped it up. They stepped it up in that last 30 minutes or 25 minutes. They stepped it up, man. They did the real remontada that we were talking about the whole week, last week. They did it in 25 minutes. They played some beautiful football, and you know what? They're gonna win this league. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter, even if we beat them in the Classical, which I highly doubt we're gonna do. Anyways, they've been the best team. I was watching them play yesterday, and I was so jealous. I was so jealous how well they play. I was so jealous how well structured they are. I'm so jealous of like they have the perfect midfielders. They just they're just a better team. So I know today's results looks good because it still somewhat keeps us in the title race, but I think the title race was done yesterday. I really do believe the title race was done yesterday. As I was watching us this afternoon, and I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't matter what we do. Anyways, before we get deep into the game, I'm just going to talk about the starting 11. So Carlo kind of tweak it up a little bit with Kylian Mbappe being suspended for that one game, for the red card. So this game, Mbappe wasn't available, so he switched it rolled it back to how we were playing last year. He played with 4-4-2 diamond with Thibaut as the goalkeeper, of course, and then the pairing of Asensio and Rudiger, and Camavinga played a left back, and then Valverde as a right back, and then the midfield was Ceballos, Modric, Chouamini, and Jude Bellingham, and at the top was Rodrigo and Vini Jr. You know what? I don't even know if there's anything to talk about in the first half. To be honest with you, Atletico Bilbao load up their third. I think their C team, if you want to call. I don't even think that was their B team. Some of the guys that were playing there haven't played in the team for for weeks after weeks. Their right back was like their third choice right back. So we were playing against Atletico Bilbao, who already knew they're gonna play in the Champions League because there's 5 teams coming out of La Liga for the Champions League this season. So Atletico Bilbao are good. They're gonna play in the Champions League. So really, they had nothing to play for this game. They really just wanted a point and get it over with, right? To them, they care about the Europa League because the Europa League is gonna be in Bilbao. It's gonna be played in their stadium, so that's where they're focusing on. There in the semifinal, they're gonna play Manchester United. That's all they care about. So this game to them was honestly, it was basically Madrid. If you want the game, come have it, but we're not gonna make it easy for you guys. We're gonna put up a third team out there. Go figure it out. And honestly, we couldn't figure it out. Like the whole first half, I don't even want to talk about the first half because there's nothing to talk about in the first half. There's absolutely nothing to talk about. I can think of maybe 2 highlights to talk about in the first half. Valverde header, and then there was this shot from Vini drop up shoulder. He took down 2 players. It was a very very good turn. That would have been a wonder goal if he would have scored that. But that was it. In the first half at least, there was absolutely zero thing to talk about. This team is still like, no matter what we do, there's just no structure, man. Even Bilbao weren't even trying, but whenever they went forward in transition, they still looked dangerous, you know. Like the first time they put a ball in, they almost score. Like this team is just, yeah, that first half was unbearable. It was so boring. It was, people were sleeping, man. We were literally sleepwalking. You would think these players were gonna come out after what happened against Arsenal. They were gonna come out and come play better, but they were still playing the same way. Lack of intensity, lack of structure, lack of pressing, lack of everything. Lack of reaction, nothing. Like, this thing is just like, sometimes it seems like the players don't care. But anyways, in the second half, it was a totally different team. Honestly, like throughout the season, throughout the 55, 54 games we've played, we've always 80% of the time we're playing well in the second half anyways. So obviously in the second half, I don't know what Carlo Ancelotti said to them. Maybe Carlo Ancelotti raised his eyebrow, or maybe Carlo Ancelotti actually opened up his mouth and gave some structure, because they came out swinging, right? They came out playing very, very well. I'm not going to lie, they played well. Again, credit where credit is due. Vinicius was, attacking, even though I think like some of his decision makings are lacking. They're like not too smart, but the main important thing, they were playing, pushing for the goal, trying to create. They created a lot of chances, not like anything clear cut chances, but O'Neal Simao was very good as a goalkeeper. He actually won man of the match. We're trying. At the end, Vini ended up scoring this goal, which I thought was a great goal. But Hendrick was outside, and I'm thinking like to myself, oh wow, this game is going to end up as we're going to drop points here, and the season's going to be over. To be honest with you guys, season's already over. But anyways, just to keep the hope alive at least. Yeah, and then we got it, and then that goal was ruled off because Hendrick was offside just by his toe, like it was barely offside, but it was offside. And then Jude Bellingham got a shot for a penalty kick. I thought, it's a soft one, but it's kind of similar to the one that they gave Olmo yesterday against Celta, that last minute penalty kick. But I'm not going to be here to complain about refs, honestly. Mbappe got a 1 game suspension for a tackle that he should have at least got like a 3 game suspension. So pick your poison, right? Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't go your way. I'm not going to here to complain about it. And then in the end, Valverde scored a golazo. Like, that was the only way we were going to win this game, with a special goal. Another individual brilliance saved the day. That's the story of the season. That's the story of the last 3 years, to be honest with you. Valverde, again, shout out to Valverde. That was a brilliant, amazing goal. That was a golazo. That was one of the best goals I've seen this season. A great value. He always scores bangers. Yeah, honestly, that was pretty much the game. That was it. We did what we had to do. We got the 3 points. We're still in the title race, quote unquote. I don't think we're going to win the league because we're not going to beat Barcelona at their stadium. I think we're either gonna draw or get beat. I really don't see us beating them. Maybe in next week Saturday in the final, maybe we might try something. Maybe, I don't know, because they kind of know they're not gonna win the league, so maybe they might go all out in the Copa del Rey. But we shall see. Yeah. Apart from that, like I said, it was still the same old Real Madrid, right? The same old Real Madrid. No pressure, no attack. I just don't understand how those players came out in that first half. What happened against Arsenal? I were complaining about what happened against Arsenal, and they still came out against Bilbao, a Bilbao team that, like I said, they were playing their literally B team or even C team that was out there. They weren't even trying. And I feel like if Bilbao were actually like looking for a point, they were actually looking to play, I don't think we would have beat them. I really don't think we would have beat them. If we're struggling against their C team, like what would their A team do to us, right? Anyways, if I'm being too harsh, you guys already know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, and if you've made it this far, a la Madrid.